when it comes to tonight and to a little bit of a revenge opportunity with Steve Kerr and the opportunity to show him how wrong he was. So
he is going to go off. Like, I know it. I can feel it in my bones. This is going to be like a historic night for Jayson Tatum. And I think the whole team's going to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
That's why I hammer the over.
I think you're leaning toward a 17-leg parlay for this evening.
I don't know. I don't know how many legs.
No. Courtney, it's simple. Just 2 legs. Tatum to score 50, Celtics to win by 15. It's going to be like plus 2,500.
Okay.
Right. And Trump to win.
What is that, Sean?
It's probably like plus 2,500.
Tatum to score how much?
50.
Oh, a 50 bird.
I don't know if I want to go 50.
Ooh, that's.
But also, didn't you say something about Pritchard the other day where he all of his overs have hit?
Yeah, so he has scored 15 or more points in 6 out of 8 games, and I believe his over is hit in 6 out of 8 games.
So that might be a 3-legger.
Especially with Brown out too. The number's going to be inflated. It's probably going to be around 18, but with Brown out, there's a good chance he gets there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, somebody expressing concern in the Twitch chat that he is going to lay an egg because he's going to be pressing too hard, but that's not Jayson Tatum, in my opinion.
No, have you not? Like, if you watched him play, I told you, he got a whole new bag. He's able to score in so many different ways. His ability to get to the hole now and being physical and getting a bunch of and one opportunities. You see how he was able to do that in the Hawks game. His ability to take guys off the dribble. The fact that he's worked on his release now, the catch and shoot, or the step back dribble with no hesitation on that hitch that he used to have. Just allows him to just do so many different things with his game. He's got a small low post game, playing with his back to the basket now. So I just think he does so much. And you still look at teams. Teams are still running 2 guys at him every time he gets the ball. But he does such a great job of creating and being able to find other guys that open up corner threes or, guys that can light it up from behind the 3-point line.
You can't win in this city. 781 text. Celtics are boring to watch because they win every basketball
game. Oh, my
game.
goodness.
How is that boring? You don't like winning? What are you, a coward?
You want to see somebody beat them?
So were they bored for 20 years here in New England when it came to the Patriots?
I would say this team is the most exciting or interesting, dominant team to watch in recent memory. Like, after your first of 15 birthday parties on Friday night, I got back and I watched the end of that Grant Williams debacle against the Celtics in Charlotte. Like, tonight, if they win by 60, it's more interesting than if they win by 10 tonight because of what Steve Kerr did. Like, it's going to be an awesome environment at the Garden tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
No.
It's really kind of the only bright spot on the horizon currently.
Well, and you got to feel, like you said, you got to feel confident about, and I've said it just from watching this team, and they're without Jaylen Brown and they're without Porzingis. I just don't see who can beat them in a 7-game series. I just don't see anybody that can beat them.
This is Tariq. Hey, Tariq.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up?
I just kind of wanted to circle back. You guys were talking about the mystery behind who banned Kendrick Perkins from the Garden.
Yes.
And then I thought about it, right? It was a mystery when we tried to figure out who deflated the balls. There's a mystery. It's usually a person that's in personnel somewhere in the staff of the facility that is in charge of inviting people back. Like, who was the guy at the Red Sox who did all those wonderful events for players returning, dream team, all-time teams, things like that? What was his name?
The dentist.
Dr. Charles.
Dr. Charles Steinberg.
Dr. Charles. So I'm putting foldable money that the equivalent of that at the Garden is the person who basically didn't extend any credentials to Kendrick. And then when that word gets out and it's a little joke, chuckle, and then the world starts swirling around the facility that, oh, he's banned, and he's not. Some guy just said, you know what, he called Joe Mazzulla a bird that flies backwards, and that's not a basketball breakdown. You know what? No soup for you. End of day.
Right.
That's it.
That's what did him in, is when he basically said take out Mazzulla's brain and put it in a bird.
Well, can I add about that? Good for you, Kendrick, because you were going to be the next guy laid off by ESPN, and you took a chance by basically ruining your legacy here so that you can get, I don't know what, $300,000 from ESPN. Great for you, bro. Enjoy your day. Have, good luck. But that's what you did. You trade a lifetime of legacy. Ray Allen realized the mistake and fixed it real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there we go. He's gonna realize that it was more valuable to be humane towards the Celtics and not just use them as a poster child to extend his career.
Well, then why did Joe Mazzulla feel the need to reach out and extend the offer to break bread with Kendrick Perkins?
That's maybe he's like Mazzulla's. We know he's evolved as a person in a different way. Maybe he's like, listen, I want to sit down and talk to you on what you're really trying to say about,
But I still didn't want you in the building a week ago.
That comment.
Like, it's
Probably
evolving is one thing,
He's
but
probably
like
going to walk. He's going to have the bread on the table. He's going to walk in there and then drop kick him into the lobby,
or not even show up.
But it's one thing to be
Stand 'em
critical of the team and say, all right, Missoula's got to do better. Missoula's got to do this. But when you start taking shots,
Yep.
we all do it. When you start saying, hey, listen, this guy, you put his brain in a bird, he's flying backwards, and basically he's stupid, then those, guys don't forget about that stuff. And then they say, like, Mazzulla probably has enough power to say, all right, I don't want somebody like that around celebrating our success.
But I still want to have a conversation with him face to face.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to do that.
When there was the story was in the U.S. version of the Sun, the English tabloid, and the source who works in the organization told Steve Brenner and David Scott, quote, he was asking everyone to get a spot at TD Garden, to be there for this moment of history, and to try to soften up the relationship that is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Perk says that none of that is true.
Mm-hmm.
There was a player, an unnamed player, who said that on the current roster, who said the hatchet won't be buried anytime soon, and the respect for him is below zero since those comments. And most of us don't even want to hear about him, as he said things that were just not justified and that were bad, throwing S in our faces, disrespecting our work and the whole organization. So,
I mean, wasn't he big at criticizing Tatum?
Yeah.
A ton. So, and I don't know if Tatum's that type of dude. It doesn't look like that's
No,
his
because Tatum responded. It was like Perk went off on him, and then the next game Tatum went off, and it was like he was shutting him up with what he did on the court.
And I bet it was probably one of Tatum's teammates, because that's not really his MO, and I could see how certain guys in the locker room would come to his defense and being like, yo, this dude is a clown and this, that, and the other. No one wants him in the building. No one likes him. Just kind of like being there, because that's not like Tatum's more of a high road guy where he won't kind of say those things. And I can see that.
Texter, Rhode Island texter, hello, Rhode Island. Thank you for listening to this show down there and supporting us since jump. Cool Cup of Joe is too classy to hold a grudge. It must be somebody else.
Joe Mazzulla doesn't hold a grudge?
Yeah,
Are you smoking?
I would say Clapback Joe.
He just said he wanted to bring back fighting.
Yeah, I would think that he
Ever hear
holds
the
grudges.
stuff he had with the reporters? Like, good Lord.
Have the ability to have an analytical eye for a second of your own team.
He brought back an article from like 7 years
Washburn.
ago.
Yeah. I mean, ask Washburn if he holds a grudge.
Yeah, I think that's why we love Clapback Joe.
Right.
He holds grudges.
It's endearing.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing is, the thing that's frustrating is Perk wins whenever we're doing this. Like, the existence of a beef has whatever the stupid 7 millionth basketball podcast he's on gets attention, and then we talk about his return. When tonight, from my view, is all about a guy in Tatum who, yes, he does silence people, but he's not a guy that runs toward conflict. Like, that's a Jaylen Brown quality that I don't think Tatum possesses, but I think tonight, Jaylen's out. I agree with Courtney. I think he puts up huge numbers. It's going to be a really fun environment, and I don't give a damn if Perk's there.
But I like that about Jayson Tatum. Like, he does it. He does his talking on the court. Like,
Right.
I like that.
It's not who he is. If you watch the starting five, which is, which I really enjoyed.
You love that show.
Yeah,
right?
because they sit down and they really get into the minds of these guys and how they talk, and that was so big for Tatum. The last episode when they won the championship, he kept saying, I wonder what they're going to say now. What are they going to say now? So that's kind of his way of getting everybody to, or shutting everybody up, where Anthony Edwards, if you look at him, he's completely different. He's like, I want all the smoke, and I think I'm the best player in the league, and his just personality is different, and it's interesting to see that.
Speaking of Netflix and related things, why do we have to wait for April for that Celtics-produced docudrama on the season last year?
Because the Red Sox will suck and it'll give us something to watch.
I think it's such a miss by Netflix. Like, turn that around really quick, because by April,
But it must be the Celtics the Celtics must have a say in when it
And it'll get you geared up just for another playoff run.
Yeah, that's true.
Locked in.
Yeah.
That's true. And who knows? I mean, what's the April Netflix, season ratings look like? Is that a slow period of time?
No, Netflix
it doesn't
can.
matter.
Yeah.
Like, people consume content immediately.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying, do people consume more content in April versus when
No, I think right
July?
now is when people consume the most content.